very short time. Please come back. This is she's obviously going to be with us for a while, and I appreciate you coming back. We have to move it around a bit here. Let's go right now to Hussein Ibish. You represent Arab American cause. Do you want to take issue with anything?
Yeah, sure. I mean, first of all, what this conflict is about, what it's driven by, is the Israeli occupation. 34 years of military occupation of 3 million Palestinian people by another state, by Israel. And until that occupation ends, you're going to have a conflict continuing. And it is not true that Palestinians were offered independence. They were offered some kind of autonomy within a greater Israeli state. What they want is the application of international law, UN Security Council resolutions 242 and 476, and Israeli troops to withdraw back to Israel so that they can have freedom and independence like Americans have.
I saw a poll that 90% of the people in the West Bank, Arab Palestinians, would rather keep the violence going. Does that sound right to you?
I think that the uprising, the whole rebellion,
they want to keep the rock going and the bombing going.
Absolutely, because these are people who have decided to rebel. They will not accept to live under the rule of a foreign army.
So the bombing of pizzerias is the bombing of pizzerias and babies is part of the intifada?
Of course not. Of course not. That is unacceptable. The suicide bombing is reprehensible, but the overwhelming majority of the actions, like today's peaceful general strike, which is going on in the West Bank, like the demonstrations, the confrontation with Israeli troops, almost all of that is perfectly legitimate, and you would do it. If I made you and the other American people live under the jackboot of a foreign army for 35 years, you would do it.
Suicide in
I just told you that I find it reprehensible.
But you speak for them.
No, I don't. I'm telling you that the Palestinians need to be free. And by the way, let me tell you that the Israelis are in no position to wag their finger at people who use terrorism, because in the formation of their state, the original Middle East terrorists, Menachem Begin and
what deal? Bottom line here, Israel offered the best deal in the world.
No, absolutely not.
What deal do you want? Bottom line, what do you want? You want Israel, don't you?
Independence in the West Bank, Gaza, and East Jerusalem. We want the application of international law. We want freedom. Freedom for the
Mr. Zion, thanks for joining us. Do you have any point of view with what you dispute with what you just heard?
Well, everything, because of course, when they say they want freedom, they were offered all of that. They have it now. They have 98% of their people are now living under the rule of the Palestinian Authority, which gives them, of course, no freedom, because you were talking now about a dictatorial government run by
autonomy is not independent.
It's not a question of autonomy. You made a deal. You made a deal in Oslo. You violated every part of it. You came.
That's completely untrue.
The Arabs came into Israel five times. Five times. You lost every war, and now you say it should be a free lunch war.
What I understand.
No, wait a minute. When you lose it, if you get it back,
you want to argue in favor of conquest.
To call Menachem Begin these murderers that you now say you like.
He wants to argue in favor of conquest. I'm telling you, conquest is illegitimate.
No, it's not.
You cannot acquire territory by force, according to the UN.
Who started the wars? Who started the wars?
Who started the
wars? The 1967 war.
Who did it?
The 1967 war was started by Israel on the morning of June 5th, 1967, when they attacked the Egyptian Air Force on the ground.
Listen, buddy, you are so great.
That is absolutely true.
They had completely cut off Israel. Israel was being squeezed to death. But the Arabs were going to surround them economically and destroy them.
The hour before the Israeli airstrike, there was no war. The Arab after there was a war. So Israel started the war.
I ask you a question. In an ideal world, Mr. Zion, in an ideal world, Mr. Zion, what would it look like to you in the Mideast? An ideal world over there.
In an ideal world.
If God were dividing this situation up, and he said, I'm going to come in and divide the land up and we're going to have peace, what would God do?
Here's what I think. I don't know what God would do.
Well, what would you do in an ideal situation?
I think the ideal situation would be Jordan, which is really Palestine and always has been, is 78% of the Palestinian land. Now, if Jordan called themselves the Kingdom of Palestine, which they wanted, then you would have a Palestinian state there.
They want the Palestinians don't want to join. The Palestinians don't want to join.
Look, you've got 6 million Jewish Israelis and 7 million Palestinians in the Middle East, and there should be an Israeli state in Israel and a Palestinian state in the occupied state. That's what the international community decided. That's what the United States voted for in 1967.
No, it did not. UN Security Council resolution. You can lie all you want, buddy. Economics over there. You go over there and you see a fourth world country, the Palestinian state, next to Beverly Hills, which is wealthy. The difference in the economic prospects of these two peoples is so dramatically different.
Yeah, that's the fault of the corrupt Arab leadership.
What all people are asking for is their independence from occupation.
You'll never be independent with your leadership. Forget it.
It couldn't be simpler. We don't want to live under the rule.
Well, you were offered the release.
Should the United States get involved, yes or no?
Yes, for
sure. Should the United States get involved?
Should the U.S.
get involved?
No, the United States ought to allow the Israelis to stop this terrorism and live like a people.
The United States is involved. We send $5 billion
Thank you very much. Sidney Zion, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming on Hardball. Up next, the political buzz about President Bush's stem cell